a very, very good evening to all of you. Today, on Chai Shrai, etc., me, Kanchan Todi, the host of the show, brings to you a very special guest. This girl, she's somebody who didn't know numbers, who wasn't very familiar with numbers, or rather, I should say, she wasn't a fan of numbers. Today, she's taught over 13,000 people on simplest ways of money management. She's a trainer who's been training people on dubbing and voicing for years. She was one of the star RJs of Radio City for Kasakai Mumbai, the breakfast show. Please welcome Prachi Mayekar. Hey Prachi.
Hello. Hi everyone.
God, girl, we meeting after a year, that too online.
Yes, shameful, considering we live in the same city.
Really shameful. Like you've been so busy that I should say, I'm so proud to see the way you're growing. I'm so happy to see the way you're growing. And the way you're supporting thousands of people out there get into their power, Prachi.
Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. It has been a journey with a lot of effort and lot of time and lot of energy, and absolutely worth it. So thank you so much for that.
Tell me about this entire journey of yours of being an RJ, a voice artist, a trainer for voice artists, wherein you've trained hundreds and thousands of people in dubbing and being an RJ and all that. And suddenly from there, this switch to being a maha impactful money management trainer.
I know it seems kind of complex, doesn't it, from the outside?
Very.
But the truth is it's all connected. So to tell you in short, I've been voicing since I was 6 years old. I've been singing for jingles since I was 6. So advertising, voicing and singing was my first love, and it will remain my first love till I die. I still lend my voice for commercials. I became a radio jockey because I think it was just like an incidental thing that really happened. It came my way and I turned out to be really good at it. So I stayed with it for a while. And the reason why training happened to me was because my entire voicing career and RJing career, I was so artistic in managing my money that I went broke one day. So I was completely broke. Like there was nothing in my bank account. And that day I realized ye kalakari bas ho gayi. So I have to start, learning how to manage my money. And I ended up in a training room to learn money management. And this was in 2016, October.
Wow.
And I borrowed 4 lakhs. I invested that 4 lakhs in educating myself. And within 2 years, I ended up sponsoring a medical college students' education. And now every year I sponsor, for the underprivileged, but the deserving students. And I believe education is something that, when you invest in yourself, you're unstoppable, which is why now I am a trainer who imparts this knowledge. So that's my journey in a capsule.
This journey in a capsule doesn't really work here. You will have to tell us more about, how from being somebody who didn't know much about numbers or who wasn't interested in numbers, getting into money management and now training thousands of people. Tell us more, Prachi. मेरे जैसे बंदे को जिसको numbers के नाम पे goal है, literally goal है.
Okay, so you need to be in one of my rooms first, okay, to understand how money management works.
I was once in one of your rooms, alive at 5, and trust you, me, once was enough.
Oh, you don't have to worry. We won't start at 5 in the morning since that doesn't work for you. But yeah, it's doable. So to answer your question, what happens is this: when we've not done something since childhood, it kind of becomes either a very scary thing or a very boring thing.
Yeah.
because you don't know what it feels like. You've never tasted it. And with me, that's exactly what happened, because in my family, everyone's an artist. Sabke sab kalakar hai. So nobody knows how to manage money. So I happened to be the first one who actually tripped, fell, and took a long time to get back up. But when I started understanding how money works, I kind of grew interested, not in the subject of money, but the energy of money, very honestly. So
Okay.
what I realized was it's alive. Like, that's why I prefer to call money Lakshmi. So it's not at all about the numbers. It's about how you feel about money, and it's about habit forming in regards to money. So
Okay.
it's not about the numbers, it's about your emotions and the habits you create, because it's always about the consistency and what kind of stance you have with money that dictates the amount of money that you either create for yourself or you let go from your hands. So
So
the
how
numbers
did
come much later.
Okay, so how do you kind of create that energy wherein you won with money, or you feel that because most of us we have so many beliefs about money,
Absolutely.
Prachi.
Very true. And rightly said, it is the beliefs that come in the way. See, it's too unfortunate that we have so many, like thousands and thousands of beliefs that are not very obvious. So they are not on our face, they're not in front of our eyes. But if you look at your current financial blueprint, I assure you, you will realize how many limiting beliefs you have. Meaning, if your current finances are looking pathetic, because mine were pathetic for a while, okay, I get it. And there are no judgments here. We all start from scratch, we are all a mess at some point in time. Okay, so if it is pathetic right now, just admit it's pathetic. It's okay, because if you see it, then you know you can get better. So, to understand that you do have limiting beliefs, simply be very truthful with yourself about how your financial life is right now. Is it where you want it to be? Do your finances look the way that you want them to look? Are you even closer to being financially free? Or are you miles away from it? Just be honest with yourself, because the day you start being honest with yourself and you take that one decision that, you know what, now this has to change, I want to become the master of money, you will be exactly the way I have become now. I am learning how to master this area in my life. So it's something that when I spoke about emotions and the vibrational frequency of money, it's something that takes
Yeah.
work, a lot of self work, but it all starts with an ACE mindset, which is awareness mindset. So it's only when you're aware of it that you can actually transform it. That is what I teach. So the ACE mindset power system.
Money is one thing that creates real chaos in all of our minds, especially given the economic scenario of the financial year 2020 and 2021. Things haven't been that great with world
True.
economy, and personally speaking, I think most of us hadn't been doing great with our businesses, except for the trainers, because Zoom was the platform where everybody was like
You're
on
not
there.
entirely right. Hello. Don't single out trainers like this. It's not that. There are people who thrived even in the lockdown, even when they were non trainers.
It's like 95, I wouldn't say a percentage, but a huge number of my friends are trainers, yeah. Like you call them and they are busy. I haven't met a Prachi, deep Prachi met them, but like what?
Okay, first of all, congratulations. You're in phenomenal company if you're spending your time with trainers. Come on, their entire mission is to empower the world.
Of
How
course.
amazing is that, right? Yes, it's great company. But having said that, see, I'll tell you what. It's less about what profession you are in or what career you've chosen for yourself. It's more about how much you believe you can survive or thrive. So we've had people shut down their businesses, unfortunately, very practical, very real, the lockdown that we faced. And it's unfortunate that people had to go through these trying circumstances. But my question is this: can you avoid it? No. What can you do then? The
What
way
can
you respond, yes, the way you respond to the situation is the only thing that can be changed. And I think that's another reason why trainers did well, because they gave this empowering perspective to the world. that the only thing you can really change, you can't change the world economy, but you can change your personal economy. So personal economy is
You can
the
also change,
empowerment. Yeah,
you
sorry, go ahead.
change the perception of how you're looking at things. Like,
Yes.
I know of a lot of people who lost their jobs and lost their businesses. Yet, with that limited source of money that they had, they were living better.
True. Very true. It's the mindset. Again, ACE mindset. Awareness changes everything mindset. That's the key. But it's true, because if I hadn't had this mindset, if I didn't have it, I would probably be again at the bottom of my money barrel. I would be scraping the bottom again. I am phenomenally blessed to have entered the training industry through a company like Success Gyan because of Suren's vision. And I'm deeply grateful. Like, there will never be enough words to say thank you. It's because of him that I'm actually living my purpose and my mission now. But I know one thing for sure. It was he who showed me the way, but it is also the work that I'm willing to put in that is going to help me achieve my mission of empowering 1 million people.
When we talk about being empowered, Prachi, yes, there are people in our lives who show us the way. There are people who hold our hand and guide us. But it is also up to us to take their hand and walk that path diligently, without doubting, with like 100% faith that
Absolutely.
I'm walking the right path.
Absolutely, I do agree with that.
I believe most of the chaos happens because, somewhere down the line, maybe we take a step or two and then we step back thinking that, is this the right path to go? We start having self-doubts. Like, I suffer from self-doubts at times. And, oh God, those are scenarios which are really chaotic in the head. Like, they're things that I wish to do, and yet I step back. How to deal with such scenarios, Prachi?
Okay, speaking of self-doubt, ask yourself where it came from. You spoke of beliefs, you told me.
Yeah.
Thousands of beliefs. Yeah. So all the noise, okay, see, honestly, I feel the chaos that we experience in our lives is a designed chaos. There is a design to the universe. There is a pattern that, yes, there's a pattern that we can't see because we are inside the painting. It's only the person who's outside the painting that can see the painting as a larger picture. That's why they say get a larger picture perspective. And when we speak of chaos, the reason why we get stressed is because we are unable to accept what is. The inability to accept what is creates the stress in our lives. That's why it's called taking stress, right? Stress doesn't just happen to you. You get stressed because you take it. Right?
Isn't it that, even if you know what is, even if you accept what is, even then, the stress, the anxiety of what if, the anxiety of tomorrow, the anxiety of the unknown, the uncertainty, that causes chaos.
Very true, because we are unwilling to accept that whatever will happen will be good. We want things to be a certain way. The need for control is so high because we believe we know what's best. And if that doesn't happen that way, then it's not best. And that's why this entire process of I am so attached to the outcome, to the result of my actions, that I am worried about the future that doesn't even exist yet. So my mind throws up these unbelievable, innumerous possibilities of how it can go wrong, even before it has started to happen. Okay, so the whole stupidity that we do with ourselves, like, can you see? We don't know whether it's going to go wrong, but we are willing to give that everything we have. We will give our imaginative power to that fear.
Prachi, there are a lot of people who fear what if it goes right. There are a lot of people who fear success.
True that. Yes. That's probably because they don't know what they'll do if they hit it. Like if they hit the jackpot, then what? Uske baad kya hoga? Right?
Uske baad kya karenge?
Yeah, but see, this is the reality. The reality is this. The eternal truth is this. Nobody knows what is going to happen in the next minute. Nobody will ever know what's going to happen next.
Nobody knows. And if you go back, Prachi, our love, our gratitude to our mentor, Sidra Jafri.
Absolutely.
Today is the day when we bid her final goodbye.
Yeah.
And we really don't know what's going to happen.
Yes. And you remember, Sidra, she's still here. Okay, she's always with us.
She's
And
all of us.
yeah, she's always here. She's her painting is right there in front of me, and you know, it's like if anyone knows how to live in the present, it's her. If anyone can show what it means to love unconditionally in the moment, it's her. So I think that's one gift that we've all received from Sidra, and that's something that we must embrace without question. And if we manage to do that, even if it's like a percentage of how she does it, you know, we've achieved a lot then. Like we've come a long way then.
We have Adil with us who says,
Hi Adil.
Hi Adil, what do you do when you are aware there is a block but can't crack the block? How do you figure out something that is deep down in you, in your subconscious, and you are unable to understand the exact root cause?
Wow, that's a great question. Thank
Great
you so much,
question.
Adil,
And
for
knowing
asking.
Adil, of course.
Oh, wonderful. Nice. Correct. Although I can't see your face, Adil, I'm guessing what's happening right now for you is when you say that you know it's in your subconscious, you've already realized that you are the one standing in the way of whatever it is that you want to achieve. That is 50% of the job done. So congratulate yourself first, because most people see a problem outside of them. They don't identify it as inside of them. So this is a fantastic realization. And now that you have come to terms with the fact that it is inside of you, the realization of the fact that it's somewhere in my thinking is next. Because like Kanchan said rightly a couple of minutes ago.
Adib and not Adil.
Come again?
Adib.
Adib. My bad. Okay. Adib, I apologize for mispronouncing your name. But you know what? What's in a name? It doesn't matter. All right. So, Adib, the second thing that I was telling you was the realization that it's in your own thinking and it has been planted there by something that happened either in your childhood or your youth or your grown up days. Because it's always in our journey as a human being from the day that you're born up until now, that whatever you think is right or wrong, whatever you think is good about you or not good about you, has been acquired. So whatever is happening as a belief system in your entire head, in the way you're taking actions, in the way you're thinking, it's coming from somewhere else. It is not you, because you're never your mind. Your mind is an accumulation. It's a heap of all the conditioning your teachers taught you, your family, friends, peers, media, religion, politics. Everything that we exposed ourselves to since childhood has been stuck inside of us as programming. So the identification that needs to be done is about what is it that's stopping me from becoming successful in this area. What is the belief that I have that's holding me back? Like Kanchan said at the beginning of the program, I was not a numbers person. You know what my belief was? The reason why I ran away from money, because I used to get scared calculating. I was scared of numbers. That's a belief I had. So identify the belief that you have, because that's going to take you in the right direction. And let me assure you of this, it won't happen overnight. But if you start, it will happen. Yeah, it just takes a lot of self-work.
The first step. Take this
Yes.
first step and believe in yourself.
And then take the next step also. Don't stop. Okay, most people just take the first step and they give up. Okay, don't give up. Thank you. How sweet. Thank you for
Meghna
asking.
Malkan with us who says, hello, beautiful.
Hey, Meghna.
We love you, Meghna.
We love you. We love
And
you.
Rekha Gupta says, Prachi, you are glowing.
Thank you, Rekha. How sweet of you.
We have Aparna ji. Hello, Aparna ji. How you doing?
Hi, Mom.
And Harish Singh saying Namaste, Chaishai. Namaste, Harish ji.
Namaste, Harish ji.
Prachi, moving on from self-limiting belief, what if, what if, we change our belief system, we work towards taking a step, the next step, the third step on changing our belief systems, unlearning whatever we've learned. However, the chaos remains because a lot of us do not have the courage to take the step forward.
True. True.
How do we come out of the chaos of not being courageous enough?
That's a great question. Thank you for asking. Okay, so the way I live my life, I was also not brave enough to take certain actions that I needed to take as a youngster. I wasted a lot of time and I lost a lot of money because I didn't have the courage to do what was needed at that point in time. So the way I live now is from the awareness of my mortality. Every single day, I ask myself this question from the perspective of not being present here tomorrow. It's a very simple thing, but it's a very powerful thing. This journey is a one-way ticket. There is no rewind, there is no coming back, there is no fast forward. There is only the speed that you're going at, and your life moves forward at the speed of your decisions. Are you ready to go? Are you ready to check out? If you do check out tomorrow, are you happy with what you've done with your time? And when I think from that perspective, it's very empowering because it kind of gets me off my behind, on my feet, saying, no, wait. I still want to do stuff. So the courage to do it comes because if I do check out tomorrow, I don't want a to-do list left. I want a done list to go with. Because I realize this is a one-way journey. There is no way to go back. So at the most, kya hoga? What's the worst thing that can happen? That's the question you ask yourself. What's the worst thing that can happen? At the most, the plan that you have decided you will execute will collapse. Then what?
You are gone.
Get up, start. Yeah, get up, start all over again.
Your ass is gone.
Yeah.
We have seen things change overnight. Things change.
Absolutely. And there's no going back now. That's the problem. There's never going back.
Prachi, it's easy to say, what if you check out tomorrow? What if today is the last day? What if this conversation is my last conversation? However, none of us believe that we could die tomorrow. We all think, acha, apne paas kal hai na, parso hai na. We have another year to go. We plan for like decades ahead.
True.
Not knowing that you never know if one would see the next sunrise.
True.
And in that scenario, how do you make people understand or believe or take charge of their lives? Because the biggest chaos we create is planning our life. The biggest chaos. I totally believe in that. I live in the moment, I live with the flow. I take conscious decisions in the flow. Whenever I feel that I'm not courageous enough to take a decision, I accept not being courageous as well. And when you think of it, that what if I check out tomorrow? How do you make people believe or understand to live in the moment and not to worry about the decades to come?
Okay, so now this is something that happens only with people who truly want to do better than they're doing right now. I'll tell you something that I've experienced in my training programs. Abhi jo, see, I love your smile. See how authentic. You know exactly what I'm talking about. So, in my training programs, especially, I've come across this. Abhi, the program which I finished at 9:30. So the breakthrough accelerator, right? So I have like there's a buffet of the kind of people who enter your training room, right? And it's a beautiful experience because you get to see their beliefs on the chat box. Whenever they say something, their belief system starts to show, right? So whatever they have, what is limiting them, what is pushing them, it starts to show. Like when a person starts to talk to you, you get an idea, right? So now here, when you're speaking about your awareness of your mortality, a person who doesn't want to change will not care. They will give you only excuses of why it's not working. Because they don't want to improve. They don't want to admit it to themselves. This is the harsh truth. I always show the mirror. Like even in my training programs, I give it to them the way it is. You've got to have the courage to accept the reality that you don't want to move, that you don't want to be better. Because if you do, what's stopping you?
Actions.
Yeah, what's stopping you? If you really want to change your life, it's like this, when you're hungry, let's say आपने 4 घंटे 6 घंटे 8 घंटे खाना नहीं खाया. Okay, you've not had dinner, you've not had lunch, you're really hungry. What do? Do you keep sitting? No.
You either
get up. You get up and you go hunt for food. If there is no food on planet Earth, you'll go to Mars and get food because that's how hungry you are. For a person who's hungry to grow and change and be happy, to be the best version of themselves, nobody can stop them. And then they don't even need the awareness of mortality because they have a simple focus in their life, single focus in their life, that I want to be the best me because I've got only one life, I want to make it count. And for those who are still sitting and wondering, I have forever. Yes, you do. We don't know how long your forever is. We don't know.
We don't know.
But your forever and my forever, two different forevers. My forever must count for something because I'm committed to it. Your forever can be sitting on the couch and that's okay by me.
Prachi, in a lot of scenarios, people blame their environment for not moving forward.
Pretty much all scenarios people blame their not a lot, like almost all.
Like, I've been there, I've done that.
Yes, I know.
Been there at some point in time.
Yes.
And in a lot of scenarios, pretty much in every scenario, we start worrying about, what will happen, how will our family react, how will our friends react, what will happen to this, what will happen to that. And then again, we come back to the chaos. Again, we come back to the situation where, talking from a layman's perspective, not the trainer's perspective, that we again come back to a situation where we get into a limbo. However emotionally draining it would be, however mentally draining it would be, people, start overeating, they start gaining weight, they start having dis-ease in their body, various kinds of dis-ease, because the body reacts to emotions, the body reacts to your mind.
Always.
And what would you tell such people who are always so worried, always so chaotic about what if?
Okay, so for those of you who feel helpless, that's one word I think which kind of encompasses everything that you might be feeling right now. Helpless. Yeah. The fact that, you didn't create the circumstances that you're experiencing. Probably you're a victim of what happened. Let me assure you.
Victim of your thoughts and your mind.
Absolutely. That's exactly what I was getting at. Let me assure you one thing. Whatever you're experiencing in your life is a creation of what you have been thinking and feeling at some level. You may not be aware of it, but it has come into your existence only because you contributed to it. Now, I am not saying that you have created trouble for yourself deliberately. Okay? But I understand one thing very clearly. There is nothing wrong in feeling sad, nothing wrong in feeling pain, feeling guilty, feeling shameful, feeling angry, frustrated, feeling rage, nothing wrong. Feel it, but be done with it now. When you feel it, you release it. Because emotions are simply energy in motion. If they don't have motion, they are going to create toxins in your body.
Prachi,
so
you and
when
me
you
all having this conversation about releasing whatever emotion you're feeling in order to feel that zen, or in order to let go of the chaos. You and me know that releasing is a process that can be applied. What about some of our audience who wouldn't know about it?
That's okay.
How to release?
Yeah, okay. So here's what works. Since you must have heard this, okay, you don't laugh at the same joke 40 times. The joke becomes old. So why are you still crying over your heartbreak from 4 years ago? And I have the confidence to say this, like, with the unabashedly, I will say this to your face and I'll point a finger at you, because I used to do it. I got divorced in 2012 and I cried over that spilt milk for a very long time. Okay, I felt like I was the victim and how did my husband fall in love with somebody else and blah blah. Ho gaya na. Ab kya? Now what? Okay, so be done with it. It's okay if you don't have a system to release your emotions. Create a system for yourself. The system I created for me back then, because I had no idea about, you know how Sidra teaches us ABC, right? I had no idea about the ABC process. For me back then, it was as simple as waking up in the morning, asking myself on a scale of 1 to 10, where am I right now? Am I 1 where I want to kill myself? Am I 10 where I'm so ecstatic I can't wait to start my life all over again? I would normally be at a 2 or a 3. I'm talking about after my divorce when I went through the rough patch. So if I am at a 2 and a 3 every day, what's happening to the creations in my life? They are all at a 2 and a 3 every day. Do I want that kind of a life? No. Why would I want to be miserable forever? So it's very obvious. If you don't want to continue experiencing 2 and 3 in your life, stop feeling 2 and 3 for the rest of your life.
How
And
does
it's
one
a choice.
snap out of that? How does one come out of that? The feeling of not feeling enough, the feeling of not wanting to continue living, the feeling
Okay. So the fastest way to stop self-pity and feeling miserable about yourself is to get up and find someone to help. That's the fastest way. Make yourself useful. Go find somebody that you can contribute to. There are thousands of people who need your help. And there are thousands of people who will look at you as an angel who came into their life. You simply have to make your talents, your gifts, your time, your efforts available to them. Contribute to their life even in a small way. And you will see instantly your vibration will change. Because the moment somebody says thank you to you, your emotions start to change. You realize that you are valuable. You realize that you matter. And that's what you need to feel at that point in time. So this is not something jo mang ke milega. You don't have to ask for it. You have to give for it.
So beautifully explained, Prachi.
Thank you,
So beautifully explained. And guys, giving can happen from your home. It can happen.
Absolutely.
You can start giving to yourself. Go get up, make yourself a cup of tea, make yourself a cup of chai, make yourself make yourself feel happy. Go take a good bath.
Absolutely.
Probably dress up well. Go for a walk.
Yes.
Call up a friend or meet a friend for a chai. You know,
Absolutely.
sometimes you know, contribution. We take time to reach that state. Sometimes people take time to reach that state. Sometimes it's easy. Like for you and me, we've been doing it for years now. But the first step, you can start with yourself.
Yes. Start by giving some love to yourself.
Yeah.
And then give it to other people.
Yes, easier said than done, Prachi. Easier said than done.
See, I'll tell you what. If you say it's easier said than done, then it's a belief. If you say it's as easily done as it is said, then it's a very good belief.
It's as easily said that as it
As
is
easily done as it
it
is said.
done, Prachi. However, my next question to you is, it's as easily said, as easily done, Prachi.
See, I want to change the world's belief systems. You know, I want to do this. I want people to stop. Yeah, you know, I don't like it that people shrink back into themselves and they shrivel up and get into the survival mode and they go back into their base chakra. It psychs me. I'm like, dude, you have wings. Why are you crawling? Jalaluddin Rumi, one of my favorite Sufi poets, said this. You were born with wings. Why do you choose to crawl through life? It is so true. We have the ability to expand like no other species on this planet. And yet we use our intelligence to limit us rather than push us into the expansion that we are capable of.
Out there, if you do not know how to expand your belief system or how to grow, get hold of a trainer, get hold of a
Yes.
coach, get hold of a mentor, because not
Yes.
all your friends or people in your circle or your family would be uh, knowledgeable enough. Sometimes they could be, but not always, to help you out of the situation. So get help of a pro.
Whoever you resonate with, and
Whomever.
whoever has done what you wish to achieve for yourself, someone who has achieved what you want to achieve, is the right person to go to. Someone that resonates with your value system, somebody with whom you're at par in terms of perspectives towards life, and
Some,
allow others to empower you. It's just a beautiful world that you can create for yourself. Thank you for that, Kanchan.
sometimes, Prachi, you don't even have to look for someone who resonates with you or who you resonate with. Because I'll give you an example in my scenario 4 years back. Again, going back to the age old story. 4 years back, when I decided to take a step up, when I decided not to live in that 1 and 2 scenario and go to my 10. Not that I've reached my 10, I'm on my way. I did not go out looking for people. I just set an intention. And my trainers, my mentors, uh, rather, most of the people that I've become friends with over the last 4 years are phenomenal trainers.
Of course, yeah.
We have Anshu with us. Anshu says, "You've got wings, go fly." Yes, Anshu, you are flying. And hey,
Absolutely.
Zubaida, how you doing? Thanks for joining in. Shweta Gupta Gandhi, find your mentor. Hi, my phenomenal Prachi, Shweta says.
Hi, Shweta.
Prachi, from moving to limiting beliefs, from moving to um, what if scenarios, from moving to when you check out. None of us know when we'll check out.
Exactly.
And the way 2020 has been, we really got aware of nobody knows when you can check out. The world has been living in fear. And while the world has been living in fear, Prachi, you have created a tribe. You have created an army of awakened phenomenal eagles. Please tell us about that.
Okay, so the Shweta is a phenomenal eagle, by the way, the one who just said hi, Shweta Gandhi.
Hey,
So,
Shweta.
yeah. So, my intention, like I said, was very simple. I don't appreciate people shrinking back or shriveling into their survival mode. It bothers me because, like I said, now one way ticket, now one life, make it count. So, I kind of created a system which they could easily apply. So, I call it the ACE Mindset Power System. So it has power tools, which are essential life skills, which when you apply, it's very, very easy to apply. All you need to do is really just copy, paste, so that you can get out of this, the whole fear and procrastinating and setting incorrect goals and stumbling and falling and having to rise again. You can eliminate all those things from your life and create specific results that you really want. So living a life of intention and not of accident. That is what I was looking for. And I knew that if people just realize that they don't need to be afraid, because it's okay that you're slightly, you've got that fear in you, but you can still fly anyway, because your fear has nothing to do with your ability. You're able anyway. You may be afraid, but you're able anyway. So let's do this. And let's combine the two and let's do this.
We can be scared, we can be fearful,
And you can still fly.
step forward.
Yes, you can still
Step
fly.
forward and test the waters.
Exactly. So
And-
that's why I created this community, because I want these guys to go out and transform other people. I want the impact of one person to reach 1 million. And that what one person is not just me. That one person is every phenomenal eagle in my tribe. That's why these guys are phenomenal eagles. And they're amazing people. Like I love the community that I live in, I breathe in right now. It's a beautiful place. I love these eagles.
It's been such a satisfying, pleasant, overwhelming, joyous journey to see you grow from a warrior queen to the empress who's creating her own
Wow, how
army.
sweet.
It's so amazing to see you do that, Prachi. And
Thank
may
you so
you
much.
empower thousands and thousands and thousands. I really don't have the number. I don't believe in numbers.
Infinite.
Infinite. Just like, okay, I can't show you the tattoo here when we meet. Prachi, before we close the conversation, you're such a nurturer. You are, I believe, in my life, there have been very, very few people who've actually fed me with their hand. You fed me with your hand, Prachi.
Why wouldn't I? You were hungry.
I wasn't really hungry. I was sitting by you just having
Okay, then you had a mouth. It needed to be fed.
You are such a loving and giving person, Prachi.
Thank you.
And, for most people think, most people believe, again, coming to the chaos, that I had this belief system that when you are a giver, you only give. Because our religion, our culture has taught us कि देते जाओ, receive करने की इच्छा मत रखो.
Such a big misunderstanding.
Yeah, probably that is one big reason for chaos in people's head. Because how do you keep giving? Because when you keep giving, ultimately your cup will go empty.
Very true.
So
At least you see that. That's the beginning, right?
how to refill your cup? How to come out of the chaos of being only on the giving mode, and how to learn to receive.
Wow. Okay. See, it's such a difficult thing for givers to accept, to open their heart and arms to say, okay, yes, you can do this for me. It's very difficult because, as you rightly said, our culture teaches us that you can't ask for something. And either you're greedy if you ask for it, or है ना हाँ मांगना मत correct? कोई expectations मत रखना, right? It's like even
relationship का तो पहला rule है कोई expectations मत रखना.
although I do agree with that one. That's slightly different. But that's a deeper conversation. Relationships are a deeper conversation. Okay, but seriously, coming back. Sorry, what?
Offline.
Offline. Yes, exactly. Although lamba chalega. But yeah, coming back to giving and receiving, it's like this. As you rightly said, your cup becomes empty. You cannot possibly give what you don't have. Because then what you're giving is hollow. So if you notice, a lot of givers get spent. They get exhausted.
We get completely exhausted, and when
Exactly.
time comes to give at the right place or to receive from the right place, you don't know what to do.
Yeah, because you have nothing left, and the only thing that comes out then is a whole lot of sadness, a whole lot of pain, a whole lot of frustration. And that's what you end up giving then eventually. Because you cannot give what you don't have. It's very simple. If you do not nurture yourself, if a plant is not nurtured to become a tree, it cannot give you fruits. It's common sense. If you want a tree to be like, oh wow, this tree can feed me for the rest of my life, you've got to water that tree first. Because without that tree being nurtured, no food is coming from it. So for a person to, be able to stand up and say, you know what, right now, I just want to take a break from this. This is also a very difficult thing for them to do. The givers, yeah. For them, The person who is receiving, probably a loved one who is receiving constantly, needs to take a stand so that they feel empowered to take a break. Like this happens a lot in my life, especially with one of my closest friends, Supriya, right? So she'll be like, you know what, just stop. Like just, बस हो गया अभी बहुत हो गया. Take a break. You know, abhi, you've worked yourself to the bone, you've done what was necessary, you just at it, like, you know, going at it. You've got to take a step back. So it's, I think it's a two-way process, especially because those who are givers can't stand up for themselves immediately. So it will help us to empower the receivers in their lives, because they are the ones who are receiving, they are the ones who love them, and they will stand up to support them. So maybe we can appeal to them.
What if one doesn't have anyone who will stand up for support? Because most of the chaos happens for people. You're talking about being zen and chaos, and most of the chaos happens for people in relationships.
Absolutely.
Most of the chaos happens when two people are involved and neither of the two are empowered enough to, or courageous enough to stand for each other or for themselves.
You know, the problem occurs because there are no boundaries. You know, this problem is a common problem because we don't know how to set boundaries. There's something which I teach which is called the code of honor. One of my favorite teachers, Blair Singer, taught me this. And in my life has never been the same. I'm deeply grateful, Blair, for this. The code of honor is a life-changing tool. And it's when you know who you are that you will treat yourself in the right way. And only then the other person will know who you are and treat you respectfully. You get treated the way you treat yourself. So if the other person is abusing your boundaries or walking all over you or not being concerned or caring enough to stand up for you, it's because you told them it was okay to do that. Somewhere you gave them permission. That's why it's happening.
What if another scenario, Prachi, again coming to the chaos people cause in their mind, what if there's somebody standing up for you, ready to receive, ready to give, ready to support, but you are not ready to receive?
That can happen, and that's okay. It's if you're not.
Isn't that a chaotic situation?
Not necessarily, because sometimes, see, there are so many factors now in this. I don't know who the person is, right?
We're just talking about scenarios.
So in a hypothetical situation, if the person who's willing to give is not right for the person who is receiving, we don't know. Just because two people are nice doesn't make them nice together. Like it's not necessarily a good team, you know? So maybe the person who is willing to give.
In any scenario, when you are a giver or a receiver, it has to be teamwork.
It doesn't have to be, but it is by default. That's why sometimes it's 80% me, 20% you. Sometimes it's 70% you, 30% me. It is inevitably teamwork. And that's why you will see partnerships jahan pe only one person is giving and the other is receiving. It doesn't last.
Doesn't work. Never.
It will collapse.
It will collapse. Whether it be a marriage of 10 years. I divorced after 12 years of my marriage.
There you go.
And whatever situation it is, one has to take a stand. One has to stand up for themselves and say enough of the chaos.
Yes, absolutely. And I believe, you know, when we spoke about mortality as well, right? One more thing that I really want to say, when you asked me this, what about people who are they are aware, okay, we don't have forever, but they still don't want to get off their behinds, right? There are people, and maybe they say that, you know what, Prachi, I really do want to change, but I don't have the motivation. And it also ties in.
I don't have a scenario right now. I have so many responsibilities that I can't change.
Story of our lives. Everyone has these excuses. I have so much to do. You are the president. Okay, so
my job takes away most of my time. So I don't have time to learn new things.
नहीं तो तुम वही करते रहो ना, तुम्हारी लाइफ में वही चलने वाला है. Okay, see, I'll tell you what, I have a different perspective for them. If you are the kind of person who feels that I know that I don't have forever, but I really can't get myself to do stuff that I know that I should do, or I really say I want to do, first of all, stop lying to yourself that you want to do it. Because if you wanted to do it, you would find a way to do it. You don't want to do it, and that's okay. Okay, that's okay, right? It's okay if you don't want to do it. But I want to empower you with this knowledge. Your soul is taking a journey. This is a trip to planet Earth. You know, when you go for a holiday, let's say you're going to Maldives or you're going to Greece. Okay,
Let's
there's
go
a
to
lot of sorry.
let's go to Alaska.
अलास्का में देखने जैसा कम है इसलिए बोल रही थी मतलब वो उधर वही देखोगे ना नेचुरल my point nature my point is this: if you're going on a holiday and you have an itinerary, what do? You make sure that you get out of bed, you get dressed, and you tick everything that you placed on your list, because you know that you may not go back to that destination again. You don't waste a single day when you go on a holiday. Why? Paisa diya hai. You want to make it count. So remember this, your time is your most expensive currency. Your time here on planet Earth is money. You have paid in time by existing on planet Earth. Now you tell me, when you realize that this is a holiday you're taking to planet Earth, this is your trip to planet Earth, don't you want to tick all your boxes off? You do. Think about that. There is no coming back here. And you know, I had this most drastic realization. I was missing my father's hand on my head. I lost my father 2 years ago. Okay, and the thing that I missed the most was him calling my name, his voice saying my name. And this realization happened then, that there is no coming back here. He finished his journey, he's gone. I will finish my journey and I will go. My mother will finish. We all will finish our journeys and go. There is no coming back. This is the only trip you're taking. So realize this. This is a short period of time. You are on a holiday. You have an itinerary. Start ticking the boxes. Okay, so that you have no regrets.
When it's time to check out.
Yes. Live a life of no regret, because then it's like a phenomenal life. Make mistakes, fall, get up again, do whatever you want, but do it. Yeah.
What an amazing, amazing conversation, Prachi. I had
Yes,
so
it's been
many
fun.
questions. You know, there are so many scenarios
Offline.
right now at this moment. But then offline, wo scenarios or question answers ka matlab nahi rahega. Then we'll talk one-on-one on the apt and the exact points.
Yes.
Prachi,
Totally.
thank you so much for accepting this invite to Chai Shai. Finally, after a year, I got to, even though it is online, and we soon meet offline too.
Yes, absolutely. It's been a privilege for me. Thank you so much for having me here. And thank you to everyone who watched us, engaged with us, enjoyed and criticized us. I love it. Yeah. I appreciate because you gave us your time and attention. Yeah. Lots of love.
Good night, guys. Thank you so much for tuning into Chai Shai. This is the final episode for 2020-21. I wish you all an amazing financial year 21-22. I wish you all that you have the courage to step up for yourself, that you have the courage to speak up for yourself, that you have the courage to take actions for your greatest good. You have the courage to tick off all the boxes that you have on your wish list, because none of us know when it would be time to say goodbye. And on that note, we meet you again in the first week of April. And here I have a small announcement to make, which is a great announcement as well. Chai Shai Etc. has collaborated with the Sacred Lotus Womb Academy. And every first week, first Monday of the month, we will be bringing you Sacred Sex Talk series for 5 months. I hope and wish that you enjoy it. Fourth Monday of the month is the series with School of Awakening, and first Monday of the month would be with Sacred Lotus Womb Academy, all about feminine rising. And then do tune in on the second and the third Mondays to meet a phenomenal guest like Prachi Mahekar. Thank you so much, Prachi. Good night. Bye bye.
Have a lovely night.
Do take care of yourself.